A lot of times, home buyers with a VA loan have a stigma around them, and sometimes sellers don't want to accept offers where a VA loan is being utilized, mainly because they're just not informed about VA loans. So, let's talk about some of the myths surrounding VA loans from a home seller's perspective. Number one, accepting an offer from a VA home buyer will take longer to close. And VA loans really don't take any longer to close than other loans. If you have a well prepared buyer and a lender who is experienced in doing VA loans, it can close as quickly as a conventional loan can. Second myth is that VA appraisals are much more strict, making it harder to sell the home. And here's the thing, VA appraisals are not really any more strict than a conventional appraisal, but the VA appraiser does have to make sure that the home meets the VA's minimum property requirements. So they're designed to ensure that the property is safe, sound, and sanitary. That can actually be a selling point because it assures the quality of the home if your home meets those points. The third myth is that sellers have to pay all of the VA buyer's closing costs, and that's not true. Some VA buyers will pay their own closing costs. All of it is just a negotiation like any other buyer would have. Myth number four, VA loans are riskier for sellers because they're 100% financed. The 100% financing is a benefit to the veteran for their service in our military. It has nothing to do with their income, it has nothing to do with their credit worthiness, and it has nothing to do with their financial stability. So just because a buyer is using a VA loan and they're not putting a down payment down doesn't mean they're any less qualified of a buyer than someone who's putting 20% down. Their 20% was their service in our military. Myth number five is that VA buyers are less qualified because they don't put money down. Again, going back to the last answer, that has nothing to do with how qualified they are. It's a benefit provided to them based on their service in our military. Myth number six, if the VA appraisal comes in low, then the seller will have to reduce the price or the deal is dead. And that's not necessarily true either. A VA buyer can pay the difference in cash, or maybe they will renegotiate with the seller and you can kind of meet in the middle. But the seller doesn't automatically have to reduce their price just to meet a lower VA appraisal. Myth number seven is that VA buyers can't buy homes that need repairs. Now, we did talk about the minimum property requirements, and a house has to be safe, sanitary, and meet certain requirements, but VA also has a renovation loan. So a VA buyer could use the VA renovation loan to purchase and rehab a property. So if you have a home that needs a little TLC, don't discount a VA buyer. The last one is that VA loans are only for modest homes and they're not for luxury properties. And while there are some loan limits on VA, they are actually quite generous in most of the country. So a VA loan can be utilized to purchase many upscale properties. It just depends on the area's loan limit. So sellers should be open to VA offers and not let the myths and the drawbacks of VA that they have in their mind keep them from accepting an offer from a VA buyer. Oftentimes, VA buyers are going to have a very smooth sale and an easy closing process. If you are a veteran, I would love to help you find a home using your VA benefit. Send me a DM or leave a comment below.